are your political heroes, and what do they say about what kind of leadership style you have?
Well, besides the obvious Elizabeth May and Adrian Carr answer to this question, I'd say my political heroes are, well, Joe Trippi, for one, in terms of his organizing principles about how to involve people in the solutions. You know, he says that a political party can either be Goliath or it can be the slingshot for the army of Davids, which is us, the people, having an effective voice and using a political party as a mechanism for that. That, to me, is an important piece of this question. Also, Roosevelt with his fireside chats, his use of a new technology model, using the radio as a way to really connect with people on a day-to-day basis. He did these very regular fireside chats that helped people through the Depression, that that brought the country together, and really just effectively used a new medium of technology. And I would like to do the same sort of thing with the internet. So that's a piece of it. As a new media communicator, that these things are important to me. But also there's these courageous and very effective people like Wangari Maathai and the work she did in the Greenbelt movement, and also Vandana Shiva and standing up to Monsanto, and fighting genetically modified foods, and the patenting of life in India is some just really, really inspiring stuff. And just seeing people actually accomplishing their goals, like the work that Wangari did and the work that Vandana did, and continues to do, both of them, is some of the most important work that's going on in the world. So I've been very inspired by their work. And a little closer to home, I guess I've been inspired by the work of Trudeau, the creation of his idea of the just society and our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Interestingly enough, the stuff with the War Measures Act, I mean, this is another story for another time, but there was some contradiction there, but the principle I really agreed with, and constitutional design, this whole principle of design as what a leader does, is working to collaboratively apply some design principles and to give us more of an ability to actualize our own goals through the entrenchment of a system of rights. You see the same sort of thing with Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson really saw himself as a designer. In fact, on his tombstone in Pennsylvania, it says nothing about the fact that he was the president of the United States. It just talks about his accomplishments, building the University of Pennsylvania, building Monticello, which is where he made his home, which is still considered to this day to be one of the greenest buildings that's been made, because of its recognition of sort of its natural surroundings and how the building fit into its natural surroundings. So Jefferson is a really interesting sort of model of a person in history. Not even to mention the abolition of slavery and that sort of thing. But really he talked more about his legacy and his design work than he did about his accomplishments personally. So it's that sort of selfless but yet innovative and effective and passionate leadership. These are the things that are important to me. I think that's the kind of leader that I will be for the Green Party of BC, and those are some of the people I'm inspired by. I'd also like to use this as an opportunity to talk about the impact of Colleen McCrory on the environmental movement and the social justice movement in British Columbia. I was lucky enough to just be at her memorial service. For anybody who doesn't know, unfortunately, she quite unexpectedly passed away due to a brain tumor only about a month ago. And I had only met her for a really short period of time, but she really had an impact on me. I was just inspired by the person that she was and what she'd accomplished. And I mean, here's just a person who stood up against opposition in her own community and opposition from the outside, and had no fear to speak to any minister or any any person of authority, whether they be from industry or from government. And she just was tenacious and fearless, but at the same time so humble and amazing. And that really became even more clear to me at this memorial service that we just attended in Silverton. For all of her accomplishments, the stuff that seemed to really stick with people was the fact that she would, come to their house and scrub their floor without ever being asked to do so, or, would take care of somebody when they were sick, or, would help you fill out your tenancy application form for a new residence when you move to town. Or, it just, it really inspired me personally to want to try to live up to that sort of a level of sort of sincerity, and she seemed to really be motivated by truth and justice, and it wasn't about a personal thing. It wasn't about those evil people. It was about those evil deeds. It was looking at the deeds and not the people, and having the love for every human being.